Somewhere in your life right now, you're losing money. Not because you made a bad investment, not because you picked the wrong stock, but because your money is just sitting there doing nothing. And quietly, over time, it's losing value. This is one of the biggest problems investors face today, and most people don't even realize it's happening because on the surface, everything looks fine. You check your bank account, the number is still there, maybe it even went up a little, but what that money can actually buy is going down. That's inflation. And over long periods of time, it's one of the most destructive forces to your wealth. Now, here's where things get interesting. A lot of people respond to this by trying to invest more aggressively. They chase growth stocks. They try to beat the market. But there's another approach that's becoming more popular, and that's focusing on income. Instead of just hoping your portfolio goes up, you build something that actually pays you to wait for your stock or fund to reach a target higher selling price, stay flat, or decrease slightly in value. On the surface, that sounds like the perfect solution, but like most things in investing, it's not that simple. Because not all income is created equal. Some strategies are sustainable, others are quietly giving you your own money back, masked as income. And if you don't understand the difference, you can end up in a situation where it looks like you're earning income, but your actual wealth isn't growing. Or worse, it's shrinking. So in this video, I want to walk through how I think about this problem. Not just inflation, but how to actually build a portfolio that can fight against it in a realistic way. Let's start with the basic idea. If inflation is, let's say, 3 to 5% per year, your portfolio needs to grow at least that much just to break even in real terms. Anything below that, and you're falling behind. Now, historically, the stock market has done a pretty good job of beating inflation over long periods. That's why long-term investing works. But here's the issue. A lot of people don't just want long-term growth. They want income now. And that's where things like high-yield ETFs come in. These are designed to generate consistent cash flow, sometimes monthly, sometimes even more frequently. And when you first look at them, they can be very attractive. You'll see yields that are much higher than traditional dividend stocks, sometimes even double-digit yields, which naturally raises a question. If these ETFs can pay that much, why doesn't everyone just invest in them? And the answer comes down to how that income is generated. Many of these funds use option strategies, like covered calls, to produce income. And while that can work, it also introduces trade-offs. You're often giving up some upside in exchange for that income. And in some cases, depending on how the strategy is structured, you can also see erosion in the underlying value of the fund. This is what people refer to as NAV erosion. So even though you're receiving cash, the value of your investment might be slowly declining over time. Now, that doesn't automatically make these bad investments. It just means you need to understand what you're getting, because there's a big difference between getting paid from profits and getting paid from your own capital. So how do I approach this? For me, it's about balance. I don't look at income as a replacement for growth. I look at it as a complement. You want assets in your portfolio that can grow over time, but you can also allocate a portion to strategies that generate income. The key is making sure that income is coming from something sustainable, not just something that looks good on paper. And more importantly, understanding the risks. Because in a strong market, a lot of strategies look like they're working. It's when conditions change that you start to see the differences. So when I think about fighting inflation, I'm not just asking, how much income can this generate? I'm asking, what is this going to look like 5 years from now? Is the underlying asset still intact? Is the strategy still viable? Or has it slowly chipped away at the value over time? Because at the end of the day, your goal isn't just to generate income. It's to build real, lasting wealth. And that requires looking beyond the surface. So if your money is sitting in cash right now, doing nothing, then yes, inflation is working against you. But the solution isn't to immediately jump into the highest yield you can find. It's to be intentional. Understand what you own, understand how it works, and understand what role it plays in your overall portfolio. Because the goal isn't just to generate income, it's to protect and grow your purchasing power over time. And the best strategy for that is usually not the one that looks the most exciting today. It's the one that still works 5, 10 years down the line, the one that holds up even when conditions change, and the one that helps you move forward instead of slowly falling behind. So at this point, the obvious question becomes, how do you actually tell the difference? How do you know if an income ETF is generating sustainable income or slowly eroding its value over time? There are a lot of complex ways to analyze this. You can go through the holdings, you can study the options strategy in detail, you can break down distributions, but there's also a much simpler signal that can give you a surprisingly good idea. And that's looking at how much of the portfolio is covered by options. It's the percentage of the portfolio that has calls written against it. So for example, if a fund has 50% coverage, that means half of the portfolio is being used to generate option income. If it has close to 100% coverage, that means almost the entire portfolio is being used to generate that income. And this matters more than most people realize because, generally speaking, the higher the coverage, the more aggressive the income strategy. And the more aggressive the strategy, the higher the chance of long-term erosion. Why? Because when you're constantly selling calls on most or all of the portfolio, you're consistently limiting your upside. You're taking in income today, but giving up potential growth in the future. And over time, that trade-off can start to show up in the form of declining NAV. On the other hand, funds with lower coverage tend to leave more room for growth. They may generate less income in the short term, but they often have a better chance of maintaining or even increasing their underlying value over time. Now, this isn't a perfect rule. There are always exceptions. But as a general guideline, it's one of the simplest ways to quickly assess what you're dealing with. High yield often comes with high coverage, and high coverage often comes with higher long-term risk. So when you're looking at these ETFs, instead of just focusing on the yield, take a step back and ask, how hard is this fund working to generate that income? Because the harder it has to work, the more likely it is that something is being traded off in the process. A clear example of this shows up with the Granite Shares Yield Boost ETFs. So far this year, most of them are actually negative on a total return basis. The one exception is their semiconductor-focused fund, SEMI, and even that isn't as impressive as it first looks. The only reason it's holding up is because semiconductor stocks have been on an absolute tear. But even in that best case scenario, it's still significantly underperforming its peers. When you compare it to its underlying SOXL, the gap is massive. In other words, if you were willing to take the risk in the first place, you would have been far better off just owning the underlying asset directly. You would have captured far more of the upside instead of giving a large portion of it away through the structure of the fund. And that's really the key takeaway. Investors need to understand what they own, not just the yield, not just the payout, but how the fund actually generates returns, what it gives up in exchange, and how it behaves in different market conditions. Because once you understand that, you start to see where the trade-offs are, and more importantly, where the traps are. That's how you avoid getting pulled into high-yield strategies that look great on the surface, but quietly underperform over time. And that's how you actually position yourself to grow wealth over the long term. If you're looking for income funds that have a stronger shot at producing sustainable income over time, not just high payouts on the surface, check out the video linked on your screen right now. And if you got any value from this breakdown, hit the like button. It really helps the channel reach more investors looking for honest, data-driven insights. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos.